Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be using a stamp set called Circus Life, and this is from the July release from Sweet Stamp Shop. I'm going to be making a masculine style card with this today. I often find masculine cards a little difficult, but this stamp set actually makes it really simple and fun. So I'm going to be using my Mini Misti so that I can set this scene up, and I'm also going to be using this grid transparency sheet from Simon Says Stamp, and this can just help you set your stamps up so that you know that they are centered. I like to use this a lot with sentiments, but it works when you're setting up a scene like I am here with two separate stamps. I'd like them to be on the same plane, so this is very helpful. I'm going to use Memento ink because I will be coloring these images with Copic markers, and Memento ink is Copic safe, which just means that the alcohol in the Copic markers won't make the Memento ink run. I'm going to be adding a shadow to these images to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional, so I'm going to be using full sticky Post-it notes as a masking paper, but this isn't a necessary step. I just like to do it in case I get any of the marker that I'm using for the shadow onto my stamped images. So as you saw, I am using a Copic marker in W1 for my shadow shade or color, and this is my favorite Copic marker to use for shadow. I just think it gives a good shadow color, or what I would assume to be a shadow color, but I also use the number 0, which is the colorless blender, and I just take it to the very edges so that it isn't as harsh, those lines, when I color them in. For the hair, I am going to be using W7, W5, W3, and W1, and I'm going to start the darkest shade on the very edges of the hair and then the very center where I believe the part would be. And I'm just going to do small strokes, which I like to do when I'm coloring in hair, just to add a little bit of texture, and it'll make it a little bit easier for me to add a highlight in. For my skin tone, I will be using E13, E11, and E21. And I start always with my darkest color, which I know isn't the way that everybody does it, but that's just how I find it easiest for myself. And for the Canon, I imagined it being sort of like a metal, so I'm using C5, C3, and C1, which are also gray colors, but are cool gray colors rather than the W's, which are warm gray colors. I am using 100, which is the black color, which I don't use very often because it's pretty dark, obviously, but I thought that would be okay for the wheel. For the details on the Ring of Fire stand, I'll be using R29 and Y13. And then for the ring itself, I am using Y28, which is the Lionette gold color. And for the fire, I'm using Y13 and Y38. For the sentiment on this card, I'm just going to keep it super simple and use the word die legendary. And I think it goes really well with the image. This guy could be a legend for being shot out of a cannon and going through a ring of fire. So I normally do 2 die cuts and put them on top of one another, but I really wanted this to look like a 1-layer card. I like to keep masculine cards really simple and use primary colors or sort of neutral colors. That tends to be where my mind goes for masculine cards. So after I adhered the word die or word die cut legendary to the card front with Tombow Mono Multi-Glue, I added a few embellishments, just some popcorn stamps there at the bottom right coming in from off of the cardstock, and some Nuvo crystal drops in dandelion yellow. I think that both of these things really complement the colors of the rest of the card without drawing too much attention to themselves separately. You'll see that I also added a little bit of red there at the bottom of the fire or the flames just to add a little bit more color to the flames themselves. I hope that you have enjoyed learning how I created this very quick and simple masculine card. As always, links to my blog, Instagram, Pinterest, and all of the supplies used are linked in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.